Hi, this is AD from the Albion Roar. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing okay, staying safe out there. Obviously, still no show at the moment as we've not been able to get into the studio, but we're going to be as much content as we can. And myself and Alan have got a new series for you called Shirt of Our Years, and I've just recorded the first one of those with our sponsor Phil Shelley from oldfootballshirts.com, who has selected a particular shirt which he remembers fondly. And we're going to have a chat about that and catch up about a few other bits and bobs as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Look forward to the rest of the series, and we'll be, well, hopefully back into the studio at some point soon with some proper football to talk about. But until then, enjoy this, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye. Your year special, in fact, and I'm delighted to be joined by our wonderful sponsor, Mr. Phil Shelley. How are you doing, Phil?
Very good, thanks, Adi. Good to talk to you.
It's nice to see you actually. And how are you finding lockdown?
I'm enjoying it immensely, if I'm honest with you. No, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Quite aside from not having any football, it's a bit of a worrying time for everybody. But you know, we're getting on. Thankfully, we've got a garden and we've got a house that needs loads of work doing to it. So you know.
Have you actually missed the football yet, Phil?
Have I missed it? Well, I've probably not missed it as much as you lot because I went along to watch a Stanning Town game after all the Premier League football was stopped. Yeah, I suppose I am. It's kind of a little bit weird because you're kind of trying to think about all the things you've got to do during this time and all the things you've got to be mindful of and so on. That actually, to be fair, I'm not going to be odd. I don't know that I have missed it that much.
I don't think I have just yet because obviously the whole working from home thing for me has been a little bit strange. Whereas normally I leave for work in the morning, I go to the office, I come home, I cook the family's dinner, we sit down, and normally we're sitting down watching telly with Erica by about 8:30. But I've not been sitting down until about 10:30 working from home. And it's been the whole having Molly at home, the homeschooling thing. There's a reason I'm not a teacher, I've discovered, which is it's quite the effort. But I mean, I've been really busy to really think about it actually. But I mean, as the weeks turn into months, I think that I think we're all going to be going a little bit gung ho and desperate for something to do outside of the house, as it were. I mean, obviously, Phil, we both go and watch Worthing together as well. Their season has subsequently been scrapped, with them 7 points clear at the top of the table. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I'm obviously massively disappointed. Yeah, I've got sort of a reasonable amount of personal investment in Worthing as a supporter, as my second team. I think there is quite a lot going on behind the scenes at the moment where they really want to change this ruling that their league has come up with. But incredibly sad. I mean, the only thing I said, I did actually have exchanged a few messages with the owner of the club. And I said, look, you know, Worthing have led this league for so long. We've been dominant in the league for so long. It's time now for the club to think carefully about getting prepared, ready to do it again, if that's what it comes down to. But it's a little bit sad if it stays as it is. But there is quite a groundswell of clubs and people who are pushing to say that, you know, if the Premier League's going to finish, then so should the SBN.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just Worthing as well. I mean, there's other teams up and down the country that are actually suffering from exactly the same scenario. So it's not and obviously with the football leagues as well, there's no real answer to it at the moment. Obviously because of the safety element.
Oh, listen, I don't think anyone's got any issues with the safety element of it, and it's a difficult one. I mean, I've got two mindsets on the whole of football in this country, and that's one is you simply postpone or you simply hold it until we can go back and play, and then you finish the season, and then when it's finished, you start the following season when it's convenient to do so. The only other option I can see that I think would be fair, I think it would be fair, is end all the seasons now and every team starts next season on 50% of the points they've got this season. So, you know, Liverpool, God love them, of course. whatever. Likewise, Worthing will start with a 3.5 point lead over the rest of the league. And similarly, clubs such as Norwich and Leeds.
So basically a handicap.
Well, the likes of Norwich and Leeds, who are halfway between being in the Championship and the Premier League, they would also be afforded some benefit for or some reward for what they've achieved this season.
Yeah.
It's one of, in all honesty, for my mind, is you just simply, it's on hiatus and you start it again when it's safe to do so. And the whole issue around players, agents and contracts, well, the agents can do some work for once in their life, can't they? Rather than just
That sounds like a thing. Now, Phil, that's a pretty impressive collection of shirts you got there behind you, and we're going to do the big reveal of the shirt we're going to talk about in a second. Well, why don't you talk us through what it is you've got behind you there?
Well, behind me, you're seeing a little extract of my Brighton and Hove Albion football shirt collection. You're seeing, I think you can see a Palookaville goalkeeper shirt worn by Mr. Kuipers. And at the bottom, you can actually see a 77 to 79 match-worn Buckter shirt. I'll give you a little bit more of a background. So that's my home shirt collection up there. I trust you can get all of that in the picture. I'm trying to do some portrait as requested, but name a season. I've got every single season you can imagine. It's my fully signed centenary shirt. Down here, we've got most of my away shirts. A lot of them are in these boxes. Unfortunately, I ran out of rail space. I've got some more arriving next week, but I do have, this rather beautiful.
That was the one that just caught my eye. Actually, I mean, that's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. So that would have been the 84 season.
I think
84,
you're right,
85.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ask me those sort of questions now. Well, I can't look it up, AD. But yeah, that is a match shirt given to me by a player. There's one for those really old ones of us. I think I barely remember us playing it. That is a 77 to 79 Buckter match worn shirt, which is probably the star of my collection. But then there's all sorts here. There's this monstrosity, which of course was worn in the playoff final, as we all know.
Do any of those actually still fit you, Phil?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's cheeky. I didn't wear them in the first place, so that's a little bit unfair. And then there's the goalkeepers collection, starting with a genuine Nicky Russ match-worn shirt.
Wow.
Just there. And then they go through. There's all manner of stuff there. I mean, there's the infamous David Yeldell at Leeds United. That's not a match shirt. That's just one I got my hands on. And then, there you go. Look, there's bazillions of them. And then up here is my sort of random collection of teams. Mexican team there, Chagos. Listen, there's only about 350 or so here just now. And the rest
are there any anoraks?
And an anorak. I've been wearing an anorak just now, aren't I?
Okay, well, let's have the big reveal. Let's see what shirt we're going to be talking about.
Well, before I'm going to say it, many of you will have never seen this shirt before, but it actually ties in with probably my favourite all-time watching Brighton and Hove Albion. So I'm just going to do the reveal.
Now that I do know that is a very, very special shirt, because I have been in your house and you have showed me and talked to me through it. Now, this is actually a prototype, isn't it?
This isn't a prototype as much, AD. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring the camera forward so you can see what it is.
It was what we should have been wearing in the playoff final.
It's exactly that. If we had been drawn to wear the away kit, we would have worn this shirt. And this is actually one of the shirts that was prepared for the team. It was prepared for someone who didn't actually play in the game.
Wow.
So this is obviously the away shirt that we were wearing in the 2005-2006 season.
Yes. So, I have it. I wear it on a regular basis, actually, still.
It was a favourite one. I always remember the first game of the following season. We played Oldham away.
Yes.
And it was roasting hot. And that's when this shirt...
It's not thin, that shirt, is it?
Huh?
It's not thin, that shirt, either.
It wasn't that cool.
Yeah. I tell you my first memory of that shirt, that particular shirt, was it was a pre-season friendly, and we were away at Crawley, as we often are now still, and quite often those shirts were one size fits all. So basically, they didn't have extra large, or they weren't the professionally fitted shirts which we have now. And Leon Knight was playing, and he had extra large shirt, and basically the shirt was actually hanging out of his shorts. I mean, his shirt was hanging out of his shorts. I need to make that clear. But, I mean, it was a great season that year. I mean, what are your memories of the players who wore that particular shirt?
The reason that I wore this shirt today for this reveal, apart from the fact that it almost fits, is for me the most amazing experience I have of watching the Albion play was actually at the Millennium Stadium for that particular game. And the home shirt of that season is by far and away my favourite all-time Brighton home shirt.
This is the one with the town crest on the back, isn't it?
It's that one there.
With the crest on the back, isn't it?
With the crests on the back, indeed. And it's always been my favourite shirt since it came out. And
why is that one your favourite? I mean, obviously we've had a lot of shirts, and you've got a lot of shirts, clearly. But why is that one your favourite?
Well, 3 reasons, okay? First reason, that day at the Millennium Stadium was just... I know we got promoted to the Premier League and stuff. There were some other reasons why that didn't work for me quite so well. But that day at the Millennium Stadium, we won. We did it. We had an enormous crowd. We had the massive Prescott Give Us a Ground thing, for which I actually printed all the banners and everything that was suspended all around the stadium. So that day at the Millennium Stadium will be my abiding memory of watching Brighton and Hove Albion play football in an actual match. Secondly, I loved that home shirt because it was bespoke. It was completely made for Brighton and Hove Albion, and it could not be better. And thirdly, and you'll hate this, Adi, I love the font that's used for the skint logo.
Yeah, that's a conversation you can have with Alan, I think. But
it's one of the things I do for my job, and seeing that font, I just like it was perfectly presented. So I think everything about that shirt, from the memories, from the look and the style and the design, it's perfection in a football shirt, and absolutely perfection in a Brighton shirt.
Who was your favourite player to wear that particular shirt?
Well, the thing is, we have to be mindful here. Leon Knight. Leon Knight was just box office. I know the Johnny Cantor quotes about what's his name, the little French chap who's at Fulham now, knock up.
You are drinking, Phil. I have noticed.
At the time, Leon Knight was box office for us.
He's all right.
Time and time again, he jumped up with his goals. He got the goals. He fought people to get the penalty to take at Oldham away in this shirt that first season. He, despite all of his shortcomings, that season in particular, when we got promoted, come on. But yeah, had Iwelumo, John Piercy, who scored the penalty in the playoff semi-final with his hand on his
pocket. That's a memory, isn't it?
Bergs with his goal. Chippy with his goal away at Swindon. Come on. I remember I actually was on Hartley's radio show, or not Hartley's radio show, I was on the radio show that Hartley presented, however you want to do it. I remember saying, you can't pick anybody out of the team. You've got a team full of leaders, a team full of heroes. And in fact, there was one comment I said, it was a real boys to men season. All of a sudden we had a whole bunch of players who sort of, number of them had come through the youth side, the likes of Vergs and stuff. And all of a sudden, towards the end of that season, crikey, the team, what we were watching, albeit in a horrible stadium, were just, don't get me wrong, I do love watching how we play at the moment and the players we've got at the moment. And I did love the season we got promoted to the Premier League. But that season, 2003-2004, was just fantastic.
You see, I thought you were going to come up with a different player there, because when I look at that shirt, the one player that springs to my mind is Richard Carpenter.
Well, I did say Chippy from the Swindon game.
Yeah, but not wearing that particular shirt. There was a goal which I really remember, and it was a wonderful performance. Unfortunately, we did lose the game, but it was in the FA Cup away at Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah,
and Chippy was just absolutely magnificent in that game. I mean, he probably doesn't necessarily get the love that he deserves these days, but I think he was such a wonderful player for us.
I think, I mean, there's a number of things you remember from Chippy. That goal away at Spurs was amazing. We were right behind the goal, weren't we, when he scored it? And if it hadn't been for Robbie Keane, we would have won that game, wouldn't we?
I'm still saying that was handball.
But Chippy was sensational in that game, and that goal was brilliant. And bear in mind, of course, his goal at Swindon was crucial as well in that season. But I also remember a time, and it was the following season, so 25-26, in the pale blue and white stripes that matched this shirt.
Yeah.
With the logo. And I'll always remember there was a game at Withing, and it was chucking it down with rain. I remember he went in for a sliding tackle. And
it was against Luton.
Yeah, it was at Luton.
Yeah, and it's a sliding tackle that went on for about 100, the length of 100 metres. It was, yeah, that was particularly memorable. I just remember someone else, actually, because we're going to wrap this up in a second. I think the first goal in a competitive match wearing that particular shirt you're wearing now was Maheta Malango.
No, sorry, I have to call you out on that one. It wasn't. It was away at Oldham, and it was either...
Oh, yes.
Day or night, or... brain's not working. It was so it wasn't it because it was away at Oldham, the first game in this shirt, the first competitive game on a roasting hot August Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, well, Phil, we're going to leave that up. Thanks very much for joining us. Enjoy your beautiful isolation. Myself and Alan will be back doing a few shirts of your years with various people over the next coming weeks whilst we're looking for our football kicks, I guess. And so enjoy your breakdown. Enjoy your brew dog there. I've obviously got my gin. We'll raise a glass to everyone. Everyone look after yourselves. Stay safe. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.